cucumber refresher.
Cucumber refresher.
I shared the recipe for the cucumber refresher on one of my newsletters. I will put in the show
One of the chickens
notes.
is in the background.
Aww. There
Polly made
is
her appearance.
Polly. We added a splash of our homemade mead to this one today.
Yeah.
So you added more than me. That's why mine's more green.
Just a bit.
Okay. Anyways, cheers to living in nature. Cheers to living in nature.
Cheers to living in nature. Here's Sentiment is she's curious as well. You guys wait till we start recording, then you start showing up.
That's perfect.
What's going on here, goofball? Don't bite my feet. All right. Well, how do you want to get this started?
So we recently visited where I used to live,
Old stomping grounds.
and we stayed in a room in the exact same apartment complex that I used to live. And it just made me think about so many things and the drastic difference between living in like a artificial, almost like tract home style neighborhood or apartment complex, or even just living in a city versus living in nature like how we do now.
Yeah, and the wildest part about it is it didn't seem like that much of a change from going from there to when you moved here. But then going back and like getting so aligned with this and then stepping out of it and going back to that way of living was like a shock of like, wow, it used to be this different every time. That's crazy.
I think it used to not feel so different because I lived there, you lived here, so we were going back and forth.
Yeah.
But when we were doing that back and forth before I moved in here, I remember, so when I finally got this apartment, it was like my first time living on my own. I had multiple apartments in a house with like roommates in college and then even the year after college. And when I got the apartment, it was like, that was my dream my whole life, to have this brand new apartment, vaulted ceilings, huge windows on the top floor. We had a rooftop, like all the amenities, the pool at the apartment. It was like my dream to have that cute, like girly apartment all by myself.
Clean, classic.
Completely clean. There's not a drop of one thing that is not mine. Nobody to mess it up. I did have
a very
Captain.
pretentious way of living.
But yeah, no dog hair because Captain, it was just him.
Yeah.
And I was like very particular.
It's very like what you would expect like an Instagram model to be like living in, like that kind of lifestyle.
Well, that was like the dream, to have it look a certain way. But the thing is, like, by the time I got that, you already lived here and I was already used to coming here. But I was already like shifting out of like, that's actually not the dream to have that like apartment lifestyle. So it was weird because the whole year I lived there, I never even moved in.
You were already having like a gradual change. It wasn't like an overnight you got thrown into this.
I knew I was like, I'm going to live here for 1 year and then like I'm living my dream, but I'm going to outgrow this, I guess. I knew. But that's the other thing. I kind of like gripped onto it because there was a moment like right after I moved in there where I was like all excited and I wanted you to sell this house and move to the apartment with me at the end of the year. And so we like fully, I like thought that was an option. And now it's just so funny because I could never ever even move to like a neighborhood now. Like to not have land, I think I would actually die. I would be the person that immediately gets cancer, goes to the hospital, and just let me die. Like I could not handle living in like a regular neighborhood like the way that I even grew up in like a cul-de-sac regular neighborhood.
Most everybody has grown up,
It's horrible. It's like there's a stressor on the like can you explain what is like the difference? Like when we can sit out here at this house and it feels a certain way, but like if I were to sit out at my like the house I grew up in the backyard, it would not feel this way.
I think a lot of that is everyone knows, like, you ask anybody, I haven't even been to New York City, but everyone knows, like, you've heard people describe, there's just like this vibe, this feel where it's like everything's like in a rush. The city's moving so fast, and essentially it's just a variation of that. I think like every city, every populated area, there's different levels of it depending on where it is, the population count, that whatever. But there's always, I think there's like an underlying stress of like you're trying to like just match the hustle and bustle. You're on the hamster wheel. You're just going and going and going. And I mean, a lot of that is just like living in a neighborhood. If your house backs up to a freeway, you're constantly hearing like just the people moving. And I mean, depending on where it is, whether you're around, you're in a big city like a L.A. or a New York, and you live in a high rise, you're constantly hearing the horns honking and the people yelling, and it just never stops moving. So I think there's never like an ability to like stop and listen to like what I guess the world is telling you. Listen to the birds, listen to the chickens making their weird noises,
And like your own thoughts.
yeah,
I
you're
guess.
never able to like get in tune with yourself because you're just trying to keep up with the rat race. And while I want to say there's nothing wrong with that, because to each their own, I think it's a miserable way of living. And I think overall it explains why so many people have ailments and why people in general are so stressed out. Like,
and like
I can be around people that do the same thing every day for a career or something as me, but they're like 10 times more stressed out. They're like everything. They feel like they're behind the ball of life constantly because you're around that. You're always in a spot where you're playing catch up, and a lot of that it comes down to the environment that you rest your head in. So I think it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. I definitely I always struggled with like gut health issues, even like acne, inflammation, being like puffy. And then living in nature, like I don't have that at all. And like going on walks, like I could take my dog on a walk at the I took Captain on a walk every day when I lived at that apartment, and it does nothing because it's just flat. Literally you're just walking on flat cement. The whole time looking at fake structures, man-made structures
just
that
it
looks like well groomed, but here it's so different because you're walking hills and mountains, and there's just massive trees everywhere. Like the air is cleaner.
You're not walking like some manufactured hill.
But I really think that did make a huge difference, I guess, on like the subconscious stress level, and that helped my health crazily, drastically.
Well, a lot of the other thing is like all the grounding and whatnot. Like, I think there is a level of grounding that you can do, or being connected to nature if you do have a backyard with grass in it, but it's not the same as like when you're actually walking on a forest floor. You're walking on grass, you're walking on gravel, but that was put there by somebody that's not genuine, that's not natural to that environment. And I think a lot of the world is like, it just like, to me, it seems like when you go to like Disneyland as a kid, if you're like all into that and you kind of have a view on it, like, oh, this castle is real. Like, this is a giant talking mouse. But then as an adult, you can look at it and be like, no, this is just a facade. Like, it's fun, it's entertaining, but this is not real.
Well, that's
and
like
that's
what
a
it
lot
got.
Of cities are.
It literally got to that. Like living in a city, I could easily take the photos right now and make it look like my life is
so
really
glamorous.
nice.
It's the best,
but I don't feel happy. I don't feel well. And I think that's what everyone's doing is like you're just like trying to be in the
concrete jungle,
concrete fake aesthetic locations, take the photos, and like keep buying things and keep going to these certain locations just to make it look like your life is going well. But you don't have any time in a real setting where humans are meant to be, where you can actually like debrief and sit with yourself.
And I think that kind of, it's like the same idea as like what you eat, and you want to kind of follow the seasons. Like, if you shouldn't be eating peas if they're not in season. Like, it's kind of like, it's not going to kill you, but it's like you're almost like I don't know. It just seems like you're going against what is naturally supposed to be, and I don't know. It's like you can live there. People do it their entire lives and they survive, and that's cool. But our goal is not to survive. It's to, live and be fully connected to the ground that you're living on. And I just think, yeah, it's all fake. It's all facade to live in a city or any of that. And as nice as it may be, I mean, we just went there not that long ago, and it's cool. There's a now since you've been out, it's like they've got all these. There's some of the same stuff, but they got a lot of like restaurants, like really like high end stuff. It's very nice. It's very enjoyable. The food's great. It tastes fantastic. It's nice. It's not a trashy environment, and it's enjoyable for that weekend. It was cool, but then even leaving there, it was like it just didn't feel natural at all. Like it was just like it was weird for life to be that easy. Like you can live here and then you go down an elevator, walk 10 steps and you can have this, and then walk 20 steps here and you can have this, and you can take a dog on a walk here and you go play tennis over there and get your exercise. It felt so manufactured, and I think long term it causes a lot of health consequences for many people.
Yeah. It's like a huge element that people don't notice, like if you aren't feeling well, because I never would have like dreamed to live on land. Now I'm like, let's get more land, more animals, more like space. But when you haven't ever had that, you don't think it would make a difference. You're like, ew, dirt. I want everything to be sterile and clean and brand new. And like when I had that, it didn't feel great. Like it did feel plastic. Like people are buying these homes now that look a certain way, and every single thing is like plastic, cheap materials just so it looks a certain way, and it feels it feels horrible.
It's like dead energy. Yeah.
It's nasty. I think about like this little girl that I was tutoring, like with teaching.
Say her name.
I don't remember her name. It was tutoring, and
put it out there.
I worked with her for like 2 weeks straight, and then I didn't see her again for like 3 months, and then I worked with her again for like 2 weeks straight. And the first 2 weeks, every single day, there was this like her fire alarm in the house.
Oh yeah.
Was no, like the batteries were out, so it was doing that beep, like a shrieking beep.
Yeah.
Every 10 seconds, like really, like I noticed it the whole hour that I worked with her.
Yeah.
And 3 months later, that beep was still going on in the house. So like her parents,
they don't even hear it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I know that girl and her whole family, they don't even hear that beep. But
so
your body is like extremely stressed out. It's like an alarm alert, like like your body is like alerted by that beep, even though you got so used to it that you don't hear it. And that minor thing can literally cause like the most devastating illnesses, because there's like a gripping
underlying stress going on constantly. That's a perfect example. That's essentially what most of society is living like.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
If you're so accustomed to being in a spot, and aesthetically you live in this high rise in whatever city, and it's cool, that's great, I'm happy for you, I'm glad you're not homeless, but you're like living with a low level of stress, and it does cause like, people have behavioral issues, adults, kids, whatever.
Yeah, this little girl, she told me she's one of the kids that like she has to have a chaperone aide at all times because she gets angry, she would tell me, kind of and like
and they want to prescribe it as like, oh, it's a, you have a deficiency in this. It's never like, oftentimes the simplest solution for any ailments or whatever is often the right one. And instead, everyone is like given these essentially bullshit reasons. Like, oh, well, you're deficient in this, or, you were just, your parents, you're just one of those, luck of the draw, man, you got this. And it's like, no, it's because you're constantly living in an environment where, just like that girl with there's that beep going on. That would drive me nuts. As soon as I hear the first beep, I'm changing the battery or I'm breaking the thing. Like, I'm not listening to that. But there's so many people that go through their lives and they'll have a nice house, nice backyard, whatever, and they don't, like, they fail to realize, oh, there's a live highway right behind, and it's just constantly just cars going by, and it's like, how do you sleep with this going
But
on?
then
How do
they
you live
wonder
around
why,
this?
like, I got everything. I have the house, I have the kids. I don't know why I'm like still not feeling happy. Like,
Because you're literally listening to the world pass you by 24 hours a day. You are hearing a physical reality, and it feels like internally, it's like those people are going faster than me. They're doing better than me. They're like, it's literal examples, and you just feel like shit. And I don't know. I don't
like,
understand how people don't see that.
well, I didn't when I lived there, and it just makes me laugh now because we just went there for one night, and it makes me laugh thinking about how I wanted you and Kodiak to move into that apartment with me because
Yeah.
I was like, 1 year's not long enough. I want to stay here,
Yeah.
so I want you to move in with me, and
Yeah, me and a 100-pound German Shepherd in an apartment. Yeah, it's
it was so
that is devastating.
stressful every time. I had a fake grass, well, it was a real patch of grass that I would get ordered to my
That's
house,
laughable.
and I
That's
would put it on the
hilarious.
balcony for Captain. He almost never went on it, and then it was terrible. I had to like carry that grass patch down the stairs to throw it into the dumpster every couple of
Nasty.
months, and sometimes I would like drop it, and like his poop would go. It was horrible. Like the stairs, like bringing fake grass to the house, and then every
Because that's
time.
what you have to do to make up for your lack of any kind of
Yeah.
actual nature at all.
Yeah, and every time Kodiak would come, I would like freak out because it's so stressful. He's so loud. Like, it would just
Every time he
immediately
has to
get
go to the bathroom,
dirty.
it's always got to take him downstairs. It's like the animals are the biggest signs. If you have any animals, that's when you can tell. Like the animals will tell you what's going on.
Yeah, this
And the
is
animals, like,
not right.
His like behavior completely changed. He could never get comfortable.
Yeah,
He was always just pacing around. And here he can lounge anywhere for hours. He's fine.
yeah.
He likes to go on walks. He'll come out here, run around with sticks. Then he'll sleep on the couch. He's totally fine. But when he was there in that space, and he does the same thing, I think, when he goes to like my parents' house and stuff.
And my parents' house.
Yeah, he never stops moving. It's like he can't get comfortable. He's like looking at everybody like, how are you living in this? This is
Yeah.
insane. There's
Yeah.
nothing, like, this is nuts. I can't
breathe.
I can't focus my brain at all. There's a million things going on.
Well, it's like I feel it so much now. Like even when we drive
Yeah.
2 hours to like where I grew up,
Yeah.
I immediately feel ill. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because there's still some candles in the house that are toxic. I don't know if it's the light. But it's not even that, because even if I'm outside, like I'm not even in the house, there's like the way the sun beats on you on the flat ground is
Yeah.
like the sun is like right on me right now. And I don't feel like I'm like
Yeah.
shriveling away, dying.
And it comes down to just there's an energy there. And, you're crammed in a neighborhood or in apartments or whatever with all these other people, and like you guys are all feeding off of each other, whether you feel like it or not. It's like your neighbor's having the same experience that you are, and the dogs and the cats and everything's having the same experience. It's just everyone just kind of shoves it down and doesn't acknowledge it. And I think it takes living in somewhere like this. I'm not trying to sound like I'm all pretentious or something, but it takes disconnecting from that and getting just away from all of it for some time, and then you go back. That's when your eyes are open. You're like, this makes so much sense. Oh, no wonder I couldn't sleep very well.
Yeah.
No wonder I couldn't, I couldn't eat. No wonder why I was always feeling sick.
But
whatever.
for me, it was like no wonder why I had this like level of rage, and
Yeah.
I was always like feeling inferior to everyone. Like they're prettier than me, they're like more successful than me. And
Yeah.
the other thing is, I had really bad like binge eating and binge drinking because I felt like I always needed to like shove something in, just to like fill up this void.
Yeah, you got a mask. It's
But like once, like even when I would come to your house before I lived here, there is a stress that just like dissipates, and like I don't need to be like constantly drinking or constantly snacking,
yeah.
because like it's the only time where I feel like I don't have to be doing something, and I am still like okay.
I think a lot of that, what that is like, because here, you're sitting here, you're picking up the energy from everything. Whether it's the animals or the trees, or the ground, the water you drink, you're picking up energy from everything, from a conversation you have to watching your neighbor mow their backyard. You're picking up energy from all that. And I think when you're in an environment where you don't have that naturally coming, or it's not at your fingertips like that, you end up trying to make up for that lack with because food is energy and alcohol is energy and milkshakes are energy. you have no energy source from anywhere. So it's like we just got to double down on our food intake. Just keep going, and we got to keep constantly drinking. We got to keep doing this, like, or like people that sit there and just binge TV for hours and hours and hours. Like you see so many of these problems with people all over the place that are not living in a place where they're getting a wide range of different types of energy. Because you're giving off energy, you're taking in energy, and if you're in a spot where you're not getting it across the board from everything, you end up overdoing it in certain areas. So then, yeah, that's why you end up with people that are constantly snacking, people that are constantly playing video games, people that are constantly on the phone with their fucking boyfriends and girlfriends and causing all this drama. Like, you have to feed your
I honestly feel like that is so related to why people have those behavior problems.
I think, yeah, essentially.
Because I felt it personally.
Yeah,
it's very life-giving here. Like,
for sure.
We could just lay out in the hammock. And, like, it's true. You are getting so much. Like, you're just sitting out here and a hummingbird will go by. Or, like, you're watching birds make a nest. Or, like, there's just a million things.
Over there? Or did he move on? He or she or they or whatever. I don't know.
I was wondering. Made me think of that.
Yeah.
But same thing. You get the butterfly cruising by.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at that guy. And you just feel good.
Yeah.
It feels nice.
Yeah. It feels magical.
Yeah.
And it's like how we're supposed to live. And even us, like, we want to do it on a grander scale because it's not like we are living in nature. Like, we still, like, are in a somewhat of a neighborhood. But
still got to drive into a city for work.
Yeah.
There's just elements of that. But I think it's just making the effort. It's like you get addicted to it after a while, like in the best way possible. And you like I can tell you, like, I'm happy with the way things are, but it's like I constantly want to, let's improve this, let's do that. Like, slowly kind of detach yourself from any kind of reliance on the manufactured world.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's not like an addictive, like where you want to, sell your firstborn and we got to expand our property by 15 acres right now. But it's like, just once you kind of get a peek behind the curtain, you want to completely remove yourself from any kind of reliance on any of the manufactured bullshit energy sources and ways of living. So,
yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, it was just wild to see, like, because even before we went back, you would have asked me before, I probably wouldn't have thought that much of, like, a difference. I could have been like, yeah, it's, it's an apartment. But, like, I would just, everyone's brain, you go to, like, thinking of the good times. Like, oh, yeah, no, I remember we used to go down here and get this one salad from here, and we could get wine, and then there was the brewery over here, and then, then you could take the dogs for a walk, whatever. Like, there was all this cool stuff. Oh, no, you can go hike at this park, and you can go stand by the creek. But then actually going back and being in it, it's like, dude, this is such a major difference. Like, I can see 110% why we behaved the way we did when we were there. Because, like, you go to, like, that one, like, spot on the river, and you go do that, and that's pretty much all you can do.
That's the only nature. That's the thing. It's like nature is, like, contained. You can, like, go to this one hiking location, but that's it. You can't. You're not just in nature.
What else is there to do? Oh, let's go to the rooftop and get hammered.
Let's go to this bar, then this bar, then run around the streets at night because we don't have anything else to do.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like the way we did it when we went back. We're there for a small period of time. We know what we're doing.
Yeah, we kind of hit all the old spots.
Yeah, but to
live
in that.
But I did it really more consciously this time, and I went into it knowing, like, okay, it's going to be fun to hit all the old spots, but I'm making sure I'm sipping really slowly, whereas I used to just, like, be like, go, 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 go. Yeah.
No, I think.
And it was nice to, like, relive it a minute, but it's funny, you, like, were saying, you want to go back and do that?
I do, because it's nostalgic in a way. And
I
do enjoy it. But my thing is just living in it day after day after
stressful.
Day. That's the part that I could never do.
Yeah, you want to be able to, like, engage with the world and not isolate. This is, like, the balance I've been trying to find lately, to not fully isolate yourself, because you're the only person I know and love that lives the same way that I live, and that's why it's perfect. But, like, I'm not trying to isolate and remove myself from everyone else that I care about. So, like, how can you engage with the world in the normal society, but do it in a way where you're really conscious and you're not like fully derailed and like, I can't be here, I can't be, like, you can still be there and you can still enjoy knowing like this is a temporary moment. I'm with these people and then I'm gonna go home. Like, it's
That's
okay.
like what I did, like when I met my cousin for a couple of drinks a few weeks ago. It's like, honestly, I had a full day of like running errands and I really did not want to go because I was like, I don't want to go to a bar and it's a Friday night, so I'm around all these people. Like, this is gonna suck, but it's just like, you know what? We don't do this all the time. I don't go out every weekend. I'm not out partying. I'm not out like what most people are trying to fill that
in
void.
the city we did.
In the city we did because there's nothing else to do.
I did like 4 nights a week, and every weekend, we would go Friday night, Saturday night,
100%.
and then do a picnic in a fake park and drink all day Sunday too.
Exactly. But no, it's like I was able to kind of reel myself in and just enjoy. Okay, it's me and my cousin. We're gonna have a couple drinks, have a good night, and I think that's the biggest change that's happened is like once we fully dove headfirst into this way of living, you dread like having to step away. And I get a taste of it all the time because like anytime I work out of town, I'm forced to stay in a hotel. I'm in a city. First night, I'm like, dude, oh my God, this is brutal. I hate this.
I do not do well with it anymore because I stay
that helps
home.
Remind me also why I like being here. It's like if I was ever thinking for like, I don't know, for any short period of time that I wanted to go and take a week and go back to that spot and hang out, I'd spend one night in a hotel and I'm like, yeah, never mind. No, I'm good. I want to go home for the next month.
Yeah, that's why it was nice we only went for one night, but I don't have a desire to go back and do that anytime soon. Although it was fun.
But I can't swear off of it.
Yeah, no. Yeah. And I won't. I'm trying to not say like never anymore because like there's a time and a place for 100%. Everything.
And I don't know. That's, I guess the point I'm trying to make is I'm not trying to like, because people, you know, you live within your means. Your life is your life. I understand. I'm not saying like it's on the table for everybody right now. If you're in college or you're, you know, someone that's, you know, in a spot that you can afford what you can afford. You're close to work, whatever it is. Everyone has different situations. I'm not trying to sound like I got my head up my ass here. You know, you live where you live. We've all done it, but just keeping that in the back of your mind, being aware that there is a better way to live, and you have to constantly kind of search for that, like trying to find better foods to eat, and like, we all do that. We all want to find better people to surround ourselves with, and like just to make sure that you're living the best life that you can, you're living the most quality life that you can. And I don't know, I just think long term that's what everyone should be looking to. And we all enjoy those places. I want to go to San Diego and party on the beach too, but you're not going to catch me there for 3 weeks dreaming about it for months on end. You're not going to catch me in Vegas. Like, it's just, there's nothing wrong with it.
Never say never because there's a time and a place, but it's just not.
I mean, like,
but like planning. But there's people that like they do like 5 of these type of trips a year.
I could never.
And like that's just like not where I want to spend my time and energy.
We got how many trips?
We did a lot this year because that was like the first leg of this year.
Yeah.
That was kind of my plan on purpose. That I want to do a few weekend trips this year because I know we're about to hit a very slow season where I want to do nothing for like a really long time. Just like with things changing in our life.
And they were all very like short-lived.
Yeah, so we
did. They were all to like places that like I would view as like better than going to Chicago or something.
Yeah. Oh, I've never been to Chicago, so I don't know.
I'm saying like going and staying in an apartment and there, whatever.
Yeah, they were nice.
Even those were just like, oh man, I want to get home. This is a lot.
Yeah,
One night
it
away
is.
from home.
Well, so I think about like this weekend. It's Sunday for us right now, and we've not left the house this whole weekend. And I was just telling you this morning, like, can't every weekend be like this? It's so nice because last weekend we went on one of these like weekend trips. We went to Carmel for 2 nights, and it's so gorgeous there. We love it, but I just love these
by the end
at
of it,
home.
I felt like a little bit unappreciative because it was like, these houses are cool and the beach is nice, but I want to go home, man.
Yeah,
like,
it's just, it feels so much more like clean and there's not so many people. It's just like so much space here. Like you just feel your nervous system like
not trying to isolate
so happy when you have space and land in nature and the garden, and I just wanted to see my chickens and my flowers and all the things. But yeah, this weekend we cooked a lot. We made our like go-to, get a whole chicken, and then you can make multiple meals, bone broth, chicken broth.
We're going to do the other one here soon, too.
What other one?
With the chicken thighs.
Yeah, so we made like the chicken.
What are you doing in the woodshed? Chickens are in the woodshed now.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah. Made a lot of sourdough bread.
Yeah.
We did a lot of gardening, planted
ton.
seeds. You
How
planted
many?
so many seeds. I'm
Well,
so
I planted
excited.
like 3 of each one, and I think there was 34 or 35 different seeds. Anything from flowers to vegetables.
And this morning we were sitting on the porch having coffee, and I bought more seeds online because I really want to go crazy on cosmos and poppies. So I bought all these different kinds.
And we ordered
So
4
excited.
chickens 2
Yes.
weekends ago. Right, 2 weekends ago? They're not even born yet. But yeah, very, very cool looking chickens. We got one of the, what do they call them again? Silkies.
Yeah, silkies.
Yeah, silkies, a bountiful, the
Bountiful.
big bald head looking ones. Then we got the fluffy head one. I can't remember what that
What did
one's
I
called.
name her? B? Yeah, B.
Yeah, it was B.
Cleo. That's the
Yeah,
Egyptian.
Cleo. That one's so cool. That's one of my favorite looking chickens I've ever. It doesn't even look like a chicken. It looks like a cross between like an egret and a
What's an egret?
those I think of the long white birds you see hanging out like in the delta and stuff.
I grew up in the Delta. I know.
You've never seen like the tall skinny white birds? They're
Yeah.
pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that's what they are. But yeah, like something like that and like an ostrich. They look gnarly. But yeah, it's some Egyptian Fayumi or something. So rightfully her name is going to be Cleopatra. But yeah, looking at expanding the farm even more in the future. So I don't want to say too much
A
and
bee. That bee just said hi to us.
put too many expectations on myself.
Yeah.
It will happen. It is coming. I don't want to say anything because if my mother listens to this, she's going to call me immediately. Like, you guys are doing what?
You'll see when it happens.
Yeah.
No, I love
Exactly.
it. I'm grateful that you bought this house, and you said it was just like a feeling when
And
I didn't know.
Well, because at that time I wasn't even anything like consciously like the way I am. I think we've discussed this before, but I mostly just wanted to get up and out of the city, not for like reasons of like I wanted to isolate, but like I just like after being down there for work or hanging out with friends, whatever, I want to be at like my own castle, like just hang out here. And I viewed many houses that were up in the mountains within an hour of here, and viewed several houses in the city and like freshly remodeled houses, all kinds of stuff. Max was probably ready to kill me because we looked at quite a bit of houses, and there was just something. As soon as we came here, I met the owners, and it was like he was trying to explain stuff. We were talking about this the other day. He was trying to explain stuff. Oh yeah, if you look over here, we got this, and look, they did this with their garage and the shed. It matches the house. But it's like, dude, enough said. I love it. This is it. I want it. And yeah, so I didn't consciously think. I consciously wanted it, but I didn't think like long term. Like, oh, dude, over there I could put the chickens, and over here I could put the sheep, and over here I could put the garden, and over here, I didn't think any of that.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of all perfectly fallen into place.
Well, going to my old apartment a couple weeks ago, it made me like really have an epiphany that if I didn't meet you and if I didn't start coming here, and we never would have known this because the first at least 2 years that we were together, we were like not this way at all. We were pretty
Problematic is how I would describe it.
unhealthy. But if I didn't start coming here, I to this day would probably still live in that apartment complex, still work as a teacher,
Yeah.
probably have gained like 40 pounds because I was always struggling. I was like on the verge of like
I
losing
don't know
it.
if I agree with that part. but-
Well, or I'd probably have a lot of chronic disease and like a lot of ailments because I was on the verge. I had all of these things. I already was diagnosed with all these things. They had
Put
me.
a camera in my stomach. And
Did
this
it, yeah,
is
they
like,
had
whoa.
me scheduled for all these surgeries, and I was fully bought in.
Yeah,
I was,
don't get me
I would've
started on
got
the
that
medical industry.
jaw
Jeez.
surgery that they like all
Oh
the.
yeah, they want to break your jaw and realign it.
Mhm.
We got to put a
I
camera
would've
in your
got that,
stomach because
yeah.
you have some rare amoeba in your stomach that is causing you to. It's like
No,
it's
I had
'cause-
SIBO, and then they were like, "Oh, but it's not cured with you." I took all these antibiotics. Oh, it's still not improved. So we're gonna
just
schedule
wipe your
the
entire system clean.
camera up there into the
Ridiculous.
intestines. I would have had so many things, and it's just like so sad that most people stick with that, and they are on that horrible ride all of life.
Yeah.
And
well, the
I
saddest of all would
got
have been
off.
if I would have still been here, but I wouldn't have fully embraced it the way that we have.
Yeah.
'Cause I didn't embrace it like that. It's bad. It was just a party pad.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think it's just how life works when you listen to not your instincts, I guess, but like, you just kind of pay attention to the way that like decisions you make, no matter what they are, big or small, how you feel once the effects start to roll in, whether it's what you're eating or the places you're going or your sleep schedule or what you're doing to bring in income home, whatever it is. Just listening to that and kind of just navigating life that way. And I just think the way we did it just kind of fell into place perfectly. And yeah, definitely neither of us would be here right now, at least not in this aspect, if it wasn't for just a little bit of intuition.
Leaving me hang.
Yeah, my bad. I was trying to finish my thought.
Okay, sorry.
But yeah.
Well, I love it.
The chickens are all fixing to come beat us up. They're walking over here in a united front.
Aw.
Well, Cinnamon's not. She's in her own world. We'll talk about how you smashed her head different time.
Okay.
But yeah, she's a special one.
Cheers to living in nature.
Yeah, cheers to it. Let's go. Cheers to it.